Greetings, friends. This is Jason Yeldell with Yeldell Scientific. I'm the lead developer, and today we want to continue discussing custom applications that we've developed for Windows laptops and PCs, but these applications are optimized for use on the Windows Surface Pro series of tablets. And today's application that we want to discuss is what we entitle as Deviation Pro. This is an awesome application, perfect for those working in the pharmaceutical industry, the biotech industry, manufacturing industry, engineering, food services, information technology, any industry where you need to categorize, log, track, trend, and manage deviations, CAPAs, atypical events, any kind of industry or situation that you would be in where you need to track and monitor those types of events. You can do that very easily through this application that runs on your Windows Surface Pro. So let's say I'm a deviation, I'm an investigator. My job is to basically log deviations and atypical events as they occur. I then perform a root cause analysis investigation to determine the root of the problem, and then suggest some CAPAs, some corrective actions that need to be laid down to various departments to make sure that those things don't happen again. So if I'm one of those individuals and I want to log a deviation, I'll simply tap on Deviations from the home screen. It will then load up a custom interface from where I can log a deviation event. So let's say that my deviation event was due to, let's say that it was a out of specification result. Immediately you can notice that you get some quick metrics. The system immediately searches all available deviations on files to see if there's any other deviations of the type out of specification result. We currently see that there's 0 other out of specification result deviations that are currently logged, but that's just some convenient, quick, instant metrics that the system can provide you. So let's say that the incident of this OOS occurred on, let's keep this very simple. Let's say that it occurred yesterday on the 20th, and it was noticed also on the 20th. And let's set an investigation due date. When is this deviation report due for investigation? Let's say that it's due a month from now. Let's give it a month and set it for February 21st. So immediately we can see that the next step is that we have to briefly describe the deviation event. And some text is automatically preloaded for you based on some fields that you've selected on the left-hand side. So let's say that on January 20th, it was discovered that let's say the thermometer in room 12 was out of calibration. I'm just making something up, but you can get the idea of how you can log these deviations. Out of calibration. And let's say that when I noticed that there was a particular manufacturing run going on where they were filling some cosmetics. So let's say that lot 3001 CA is potentially affected by this thermometer being out of calibration. And let's also throw another lot in there. Let's say also lot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is also affected. You can put in whatever you want, but that will all be searchable by the metrics. And let's say, what did we do when we discovered this deviation event? So some text is automatically preloaded for us. Upon discovery of the event on the 20th, the following actions were immediately performed. Let's say that we stopped the manufacturing run. That's the first thing we did once we noticed that that thermometer was out of calibration. Stopped manufacturing run, and then we immediately notified our supervisor. So those are some common things that you would do. Okay, so we stopped the manufacturing run, notify supervisor, that's fine. And now, since we're just initiating this deviation, let's set a criticality level for it. We don't really know the root cause of it yet, but just based on what we know so far, let's say that this is a major event. We stopped the manufacturing run, so we would say that that's major. So now we can assign who do we want to apply these metrics to. This was during a manufacturing run, so let's assign it to the engineering group. They're going to be the ones who are assigned this particular deviation to figure out exactly what the root cause of it was. And then we can save the initiation. It will do that in the background. It will also automatically tap into Microsoft Outlook and create a task item for us, which is very convenient. But immediately, once we're brought back to the home screen, we see that we have some little notifications. We see that there is one unapproved deviation. That's the one that I just put in the system. And also we can see a quick list of all open items that have yet to be addressed. and that's the deviation 100,005 that we just created. So that was the initiation. At this point, a supervisor, a manager, someone else will need to come in and approve my deviation so that we can start our investigation. So let's assume that I'm someone else. I come into the system and I want to view that deviation initiation. I will call it up by searching for existing deviations. I see that it's there. I'm going to open it up. That's fine. And then the system will load the deviation in. I can read it over and say, okay, I agree with everything that's here. Let's approve this. I'm going to click the approve button. I'll just tap it with my finger since I'm using Surface Pro 4. Say yes. And it will actually approve that deviation in the system and move it on to the next phase, which is root cause analysis investigation. So now that we can see we have no outstanding events with respect to deviation initiations, and we now have an unapproved root cause analysis investigation and also an open item as a root cause analysis, RCA. So if I want to perform that root cause analysis, I can do that in the system. I'll just tap on root cause analysis, and I'll search for my deviation number, and then I'll click the search button and it will open it up. And this is a very, very nifty tool where it actually loads in now a custom root cause analysis screen where we can actually perform our analysis and capture the details. So the very first thing we could do is select what kind of analysis do we want to perform. For those familiar with root cause analysis, there's various different investigational techniques. We've preloaded in some of those templates, such as the 5 Whys investigational method, the 5 M's investigational method, or barrier analysis investigational method. You could also load in and configure your own, such as the fishbone and things like that. But we'll just keep this simple and say that we want to use the 5 Whys investigational method. That's where you continually ask why, 5 levels deep, and eventually you should get to the root cause of the situation. So that template is loaded and that text is here. So this is where we would take our time and type up our investigation into this discovery that the thermometer in room 12 was out of calibration. So the text is preloaded, the boilerplate text that is. We can modify it to our content. So let's say that we do put that content in the system and we've determined that the thermometer was out of calibration because, and I'm just going to skip right to the end, the determined root cause of this was the room door was locked at time of recalibration. So basically the maintenance personnel couldn't recalibrate the thermometer because the room door was locked. So that's a very simple root cause analysis. So let's assign the type of root cause analysis. Let's assign this to personnel, right? And let's say that quality is impacted because remember that lot, the run had to be stopped. So we're going to really dictate that here and say, yes, quality was impacted by that room door being locked at the time that the thermometer should have been calibrated. The quality was impacted and that run was successfully stopped as it needed to be. Let's make this a major as well. And let's scroll down, and here's where we can assign some corrective actions. So let's just say that we want one corrective action to prevent this from ever happening in the future. Let's say that as a corrective action, all room doors will remain unlocked from the 1st to the 15th of the month, right? That's our corrective action. We'll maybe write an SOP that says all room doors have to remain unlocked between the 1st and 15th of the month. We'll set a CAPA plan owner who's going to be responsible for delivering that CAPA. Let's assign it to, let's say, the research group, but you can select any group that you want or any actual item that you want. And let's set a date for when that CAPA has to be completed. Let's set it for February 21st as well. And now we can actually save or approve this root cause analysis. Let's jump right to approving it since we're comfortable with it. Let's say, yes, we want to approve that root cause analysis. It's been approved in the system. We can now go back to the main menu and all is well. This is amazing that you can do this very conveniently on the surface. So now we're back to the main menu. We see that there's no outstanding investigations, but we do have one unapproved CAPA We just created a corrective action plan for making sure that all the room doors are unlocked between the 1st and 15th. So if I'm the individual that was assigned the CAPA and I want to respond to it, I can then tap on CAPA plans and I can see the CAPA. I can read the details of it. I'm part of the research group, so I can see that the CAPA was assigned to me. I can then click on the search button. It will open it up in a custom dialog where I can respond directly to the CAPA. So let's say that the CAPA says that all room doors will remain unlocked from the 1st to the 15th of the month. And now I'm responding and saying, okay, SOP 123 was updated to reflect this change. So we updated our SOP to say that the doors have to remain unlocked. I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to freeze it, which means locks it into the system so that it can't be edited. And then let's have this approved, and all is well within the system. And we've closed out the entire process. We have no more open items. Very, very, very easy to use on the Microsoft Surface. Very easy to use on your current Windows laptop or PC. All you need is Microsoft Office 2013 or higher, or Office 365 subscription, and you're pretty much ready to go. Your employees will love it. You can train them very easily on how to become a deviation writer, how to investigate various types of situations and atypicals, how to draft these root cause analysis, and also how to draft appropriately these corrective action plans. You don't have to have that much experience, but the software does make it easy for you. Now you also see on the screen we have some metrics icons at the bottom. So if we want to see by type of the deviations, we can see all the possible deviation types. And if we just want to click on one, we can see that, nothing pops up, all is well. But if I click on one that I know exists, out of specification result, immediately it lets me know that there was one search result. There was a deviation that had an out of specification result. So all the metrics are kept within the system and easily reported. So root cause metrics by type, we can click on that. Let's say personnel, right? We know that there is one hit for that. And immediately we can also search for lots. Let's say we want to search for lot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do that within the system. And immediately lets me know, wait a minute, there is a deviation event tied to that lot. Very, very convenient. Very, very easy to use. It's available for instant download from the YeldellScientific.com website. And we look forward to talking with you more in the next video.